Hello and welcome back to my channel, Emma Jane's Garden. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Emma and I am a flower farmer florist in Cornwall in the UK, and I'm right down on the south coast near a town called St Austell, and I sell mainly bunches of flowers from the plots that I have here on the allotments, and I've got a large plot at home as well. I have a small polytunnel and that's it, so I'm not on a grand scale. I haven't got a massive flower farm. I've just got some beds which I love to grow flowers in, and I try and sell bunches of flowers which are only grown in the UK, so sometimes I do need to buy in extras, but I try and grow as much as I can here on my plots. Right, I thought I'd show you around because the last time I showed you around was back in February on a really frosty morning. I think that was the end of February, so I've been really busy with, because I now work in a school as well, so I've been doing that. I'm just hoping it's not too windy for you to hear me. That wind just picked up. It's meant to be this windy. Yes, I've been working in the school as well as doing the flower farm, so it's been a bit busy this year, and I am running about a month behind with my seed sowing, but that's fine because we're just at the beginning of April, and you know what, if you sow in April it'll all catch up anyway. It just means I may not have flowers as early in the year as I had last year, but that's fine, we can deal with that. Right, so I want to show you around quickly. We'll start on the first plot, which is the one that I've had for about 4 years now, so let's have a look. Right, so I've been doing some work on this one, so obviously I've redone the paths, not all of them, some of them still need doing. This is my Dahlia Bed in here. This is a Dahlia / anything else I can chuck in it bed. Right, so over here I have some Amy, which is my autumn sowing Amy. I had a bit of a disaster with this, so this is all I got, which was a bit of a shame. I'm not sure what happened, but there we go. So I've only got these plants, but actually that will bulk out into quite a few, so I'm not too worried. And then the ones just a little bit further back, these guys here are my Bells of Ireland. No, they're not, sorry. They are my Canterbury Bells. And they were autumn sown as well. I think the cold has stunted them slightly, but I'm sure they will catch up and they'll be fine. The fleece that was on them got blown away in all the storms that we had, and that was my cloche, which is now absolutely trashed as well. That was over some seedlings and ended up actually all the way at the top of all the plots, and I've lost one altogether, so I don't know what happened to the other one. So we don't have those anymore. So some of my plants have been uncovered since the storms. So on this bed I've got some anemones which haven't been in for very long because I completely forgot to plant them out, and they started flowering in their little cells, so they're in there. That's the pinks, and I'm thinking I may have to take some of them out because they're not looking great. Underneath here is my ranunculus, and actually they're looking quite good. Let me see if I can get into Fort Knox here and show you. So these are looking good, and some of them are even starting to flower, so they're looking really good. So what I did yesterday was I actually gave them a feed, so I couldn't find the seaweed feed, don't know where I've put it, couldn't find it anywhere, so I've given them a tomato feed, which is just as good. So they had a tomato feed yesterday just because they were looking a little bit sad, because the I've had the fleece actually lying across them, and some of the flowers are coming up wonky because they're trying to push the fleece up. I hadn't realised they started flowering actually, so I've made this arch, this tunnel for them. So me and my daughter put this up yesterday, so I'm hoping it'll be okay and it's not going to blow everything away. It's a broken tunnel, that was why it's falling apart slightly. That's an empty bed ready, it's all prepped and ready. I'm just putting that over because the plot next to us, they don't never seem to do much with their plots, so get a lot of weed seeds from there, so I have to cover as much as I can, otherwise I just end up with weeds everywhere. I've got some rhubarb, can never do without rhubarb and chives. These are actually, these are some tulips that I put in a bucket last year when I was pulling them all out at the end of the season. I plonked them in a bucket and left them. I didn't do anything, I didn't cover them or anything, and they've all flowered. Well, not all of them, some of them have flowered, which is quite funny. So this is what happens if you don't cover the beds here. They end up looking like that. So I need to dig that one over and then cover it. And that one up back there, that used to have strawberries in. but I'm going to get rid of all the strawberries from that bed and use it for flowers. Gooseberry bushes, fruit cage which has got red currants and blueberries in. This is my wildlife corner. The reason the seat is on top of the pond is that, I may have explained this last time, I decided to tidy up the wildlife area, which was a mistake because I've disturbed everything that was living in the pond. So I've just put that over for a bit of shelter for a minute because there are things living in there. But that's my wildlife corner. And then someone was leaving the allotments a while ago. Oh, this is the dog. If you can hear whining, it's because he's not... Tommy. Alright? What's wrong? What's wrong? You want to go home, don't you? He thinks it's breakfast time. We've just been for a walk, that's why, and then we've come here and he thinks actually it's breakfast time. Yeah, so back, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, one of the girls on the plots decided to give up a plot, and she had a load of Aquiledra on her plot, and she said help yourself to anything that's on the plot. So I've taken the Aquiledra, so I don't know what sort they are, but I've planted them here along with some other bits and pieces that I already had. These are my gladioli. They're started to sprout, which I don't really want them sprouting yet because they get damaged by the frost. Look, you can see they've been damaged by the frost. Sorry, I'm having to lean over the dog. But I left these in from last year, so I don't really know why they've started to come up. It's quite early, I think, but never mind. And in this one is some more anemones, which I only planted yesterday. Again, because I forgot to take them out of their trays, so they started flowering in their trays. But hopefully now they're in the ground, they'll be okay. Just a bit of bed of... That just needs re-prepping, to be honest. It's got a sweet William in it, which is why I've left it. And then a random wallflower that's gone long and lanky, so that needs pulling out. Amber's little bed with her bunny. Her bunnies are sleeping on the rock over there, apparently. So that's why they're over there. Because there was an ant's nest underneath their bed, apparently, which was in the corner. So she said they had to be moved so the ants wouldn't bite them while they were sleeping. Oh, to have the mind of an 8-year-old. Right, so this is the other plot. Okay, I haven't done a huge amount since you last saw it, but I have done some things. This bed at the front, it's annoying me because it is full of perennials. So I just want to dig it all out and start again. But the problem with that is I don't know where all the perennials are because some of them are dormant at the moment. I can see some things like the phlox here that started coming up, and at the back there. And I do have labels in certain places for things. But then other things have self-seeded themselves, like all of these Nigella. There's loads of Nigella. And then I know, so all the way along here is Astrantia, some lovely red ones, but obviously they are not coming up yet, or they've died back, I'm not sure. But again, I keep finding loads of self-sown Nigella, and actually I could do with the Nigella just self-sowing itself, that would be easier. And then at the back here I've got some perennials as well. At the front there's meant to be Gypsophila. I really didn't do much last year, didn't flower at all, but apparently it does take a couple of years to establish, but I don't know where it is in all this grass now. So I am tempted just to dig the lot out from the phlox forwards and just lose whatever's in that front patch. I don't know, really don't know what to do, but I've got some lovely feverfew, see here. I just really, because I'm so far behind with my seed sowing, I don't want to go pulling stuff out that could possibly be growing underground. I don't know. Anyway, so yesterday me and my daughter came up to the plot and we did loads. So we've prepped this one. This is all prepped and ready to be sown, and that one across there as well. So this is being mulched and raked and is completely ready for seed sowing. This bed is just a mess. Now I left this just because it had ranunculus growing in it, and it's only got the one ranunculus now and the feverfew. The little bed here looks like it's grass. That's because it is grass. But that is bunny tails, the Brasia Maxima, I think it's called, which is like a little tiny like teardrop grass, which is really pretty, and the Sprinkles, Frosted Fountain I think they're called, which is a really pretty grass for putting into bouquets. So that's why that is grass, that is actually grass that's ready. Oh, the bed at the back's prepped and ready to go as well. This just needs digging out now. Trouble is I've been using it to put all my weeds in, so once I move all those it won't be so bad. I also need to collect all my pots that got blown around in the wind, because every time I put them into nice piles they get blown around again. This is the Dahlia Bed, and it used to have a really big lavender here, which I pulled out yesterday because it was just rotted off completely. So this is the lavender bed, and I thought it really needed weeding, and I came to weed it yesterday when I realised that these weeds aren't actually weeds at all. Well, they are, but they are gorgeous little violas. Little wild violas, so they're actually really quite pretty. So what I'm going to do, they're good for the bees and the insects, so I'm going to leave them for a minute because I don't mind having violas all over the dahlias, that's fine. The grass and stuff I will pull out, but I'm going to leave the violas for a minute because they're pretty. Why would you pull them out? And they're covering the ground, which is a good, you know, it's a good thing. So the bed above it is half dug over, but as I think I said on the last video, what I found was some of the scabious had started to sprout. So these three here, whether it's because they were protected from the ones behind, which could have been all the branches, have started growing. So I'm actually going to do an experiment and leave these three in. That's my Achillea, the Achillea, and that's the, it's like a berry mix, so it's all different colours. They're all coming up, and actually they started flowering the other day. You can see I actually put some white ones into a bouquet the other day, so they're started, so that's good. So the rest is dug over, and again I had some Rhubarb here, and they've started sprouting again as well, and I thought they were meant to be an annual variety, but they are coming up, so I've left a couple of those in as an experiment as well. Some of them obviously just died back, so I'm going to pull out the ones that have died back. I'm not going to leave loads, just a couple, and see how it goes, and if it does work then I'll do that again next year. The top bed has got a lot in it, although again it's like the bottom bed, it's perennial stuff. So I'll get again Sweet Williams. At the back in that grass, annoyingly, is some delphiniums growing at the back there. There's nothing in the middle bit here. I know this middle bit is empty because I had scabious in it last year and they haven't done anything. They have died back. And then I've got, I think there's 4 or 5 chrysanthemums here. Then dahlias and roses. So that just needs, you can see I've just started to like try and go over it, and then I will mulch it all, but I haven't got around to mulching. I seem to be growing a dog. So the dog yesterday decided to dig a massive hole right there to sleep in, but what he did was dug a load of my daffodil bulbs up with it. Did you not? Don't look so innocent, young man. So he seems to really like sleeping there, so we've put his bed there for a minute. But look how beautiful these daffodils are. I know, big boy. You alright? Yeah, you're alright. They're absolutely beautiful. So I started off with, they're not so beautiful now, but this type of yellow one coming up. Then we had this one, and now it's moving over to these. And this was like a mix that I bought. And then actually I've got something else completely different coming up here, look. So this was a mixed bulb pack. These are absolutely, truly my favourite. And I will try and find the name for you because I can't remember what they're called, but they are absolutely beautiful. And you can see they've got that slight pink tinge to them. I bought these especially for my daughter Amber because this is what she wanted, was pink daffodils. And I didn't think you could get pink daffodils until I found them. Then we've got the Winston Churchill, I think those ones are called, and then I've got some lovely doubles over here. So these are really pretty, I love these. So these are all going in bunches at the moment. So that, yeah, I'm selling quite well with the mixed daffodil bunches. Oh, he's found a friend. Oh, have you found a friend? Stormy, have you found a friend? So that's this plot. It may look messy to some people. To me, I know exactly what's going on. I know what's going in. I just need to sort out some of the paths. Like I said before, I use this artificial grass in between the paths, just because I can freely get hold of it, because that's what my husband does. And I put that down, which is great because actually it holds in moisture, so the plants can draw in moisture from the sides, which I think is a win-win. Oh, did he go, did he? Yeah. So this final bed here has got the verbena in it. I need to hack that down a little bit more because I did it too high when I cut it down, and I think I can probably go a lot lower. And some of them have actually died back, so I just need to pull out those. And at the back here, I've got some self-sown. I'm not sure if this is Dorcas or wild carrot. I think it's Dorcas, which would be good because none of my Dorcas that I sowed in at home came up. Oh, and there's more. There is actually quite a few more coming up, look, in amongst the grass here, and the mint. Mint's gone mad. This isn't my mint, it is from the plot next door, and it just grows crazily wild, but that's fine because I use it a lot in arrangements, so I'm not too worried, and I just pull it out whenever it gets too vigorous. And yeah, so we'll put this new arch in here. And this has got a lovely camellia growing up this side, and then on the opposite side I'm going to dig the marjoram out, and I've got a rose that's going to go there, so that will be good. I've got more feverfew, I've got foxglove, loads of feverfew along here, and then I've got my sedums. I've got some anemones that have sort of poked themselves up. There's loads of sedums, and I've left the seed heads on just for a bit, but I will need to take those off soon. I've got some rosemary, and then I had some spare bulbs which I plonked in here because I didn't have any other room, and actually they're looking quite nice. I've just left them, the tulips. They were so short when they actually started flowering, and I didn't want to pull them out, I just wanted to leave them. They look quite pretty. These daffodils didn't come back this year, but I'm not fussed because they were just the plain bog standard ones that you get in the supermarket, so I didn't really need those anyway. So that's what I've been doing here. I wasn't going to take you over to the other plot, but I will. Let's go over there quickly and I'll show you what I've been doing over here. No, you've got to stay in there because you just do. He doesn't want to stay. Look. Do you want to come with Mummy? You stay in there. Can't trust him to be off the lead because he'll run out the gate and up to the main road because he's done it before. Okay, so on this plot. Okay, right, so this is the bottom plot, and not a lot's been done. Well, it has and it hasn't. So the Sweet Williams are looking awesome. I planted these, so I sowed these this time last year, planted them out middle of last year, and this is them now, so they're looking amazing. They'll be ready for, you can see they're just starting, so they'll be ready for bouquets fairly soon, which should make a nice change because at the moment I'm just doing the daffodil ones, so it'd be lovely to have something different in them. I've got a bed here. This is where the sunflowers were, so they have obviously gone. There's still a few bits and pieces left, need to move in. This is you can see this is artificial lawn here. This is pathway up through the middle. Then there's another bed here, which the wheelbarrow's on, and then I've got my rose bed here, which I have done quite a bit too. So I've weeded the rose bed. So the roses have had they've been weeded. They've had rose fertiliser put around them. Then I have mulched them, and now I'm doing a ground mulch here all the way along because I don't know if you've watched any of the videos from last year, you'll know that I had quite a bad back, and I lost March, April, May into June with a really bad back, and I really struggled. And my bad back has started to rear its ugly head once again, so I'm having to think smarter about how I go about keeping these plots looking good. Last year I left this one, and I loved the fact that I left it and it just looked like bee heaven. It was amazing, but actually in reality it was really difficult to keep, and it's made it really difficult now to get it back to how I had it. So I'm going to be putting down some black plastic. I'm going to have to, but for places like the roses now, I'm going to do this deep mulch, and I'm just going to keep topping up this deep mulch because I have a very willing volunteer. I'll show you that now. And she enjoys mulching, which is great. So she's going to do all the mulching for me. She doesn't mind, she likes doing that. And I will be putting plastic down the weed membrane